Hi, everyone. It's Kelly from the Hub, here today with Mike at the Ephrata Community Garden. Hello there, friend.
Hey there, hey there.
So you can see that we've got, okay, so those of you who have your own gardens, you're thinking to yourself, why are these little plants? Remember, we've got big sections of the gardens and we've been rotating crops throughout there. So what you're seeing now that Mike is showing us is the third planting in some of those raised beds. And so what do we see in there, Mike?
Right here, it looks like we have beets.
Ooh,
Yeah, we planted some more beets. These are what the kids from the rec had planted.
oh, that's right.
Yeah,
They came over a few weeks ago.
yeah, peas, cabbage, cauliflower. Yeah, so we still have time to grow stuff, and we still have an empty bed that we'll probably plant lettuce in or something.
Oh, cool. I was over at the garden on Saturday afternoon because I said to Mike, is there anything that we need to pick like right away? Because, things in the garden, every day you got to be there. And I was playing around in those tomatoes that you can see back there. Holy holiness. I got to
Yeah,
tell you, tomato plants, they just crank that stuff out.
yeah, yeah. And in the right conditions in like a greenhouse, they will keep growing and growing and growing.
That's
Like I've
just
seen
amazing.
tomato plants 15 feet tall.
Yeah. So remember, Mike got the sturdier cages to make sure that the plants that they would be strong enough. And you can see they're growing over the top. I mean, these are like Frankenstein tomatoes we've got over there. Oh, can you show them the little tomatillo plant too?
The little tomatillo
Okay.
plant? Oh,
Yeah. So remember we talked about tomatillos, those things that look like little green tomatoes, but they've got a little husk on them. This plant, I don't know, this plant drank some very special water, and there's going to be tomatillos. You can see all those little creatures in there. There they are. So that's that outside husk, and then the little tiny, you can feel it because I did when I was over on Saturday. You can feel the little fruit inside growing. I gotta tell you, we're gonna have tomatillos, which make a fantastic salsa verde till the end of time.
yeah. Yeah, I've never grown them before. I'm impressed.
I didn't know the plant got that huge.
Neither did we.
Yeah, and don't forget, some of these plants we've never grown before, and it was to see how do you do this? What does it look like? Does it get bugs? Does it not? How does it survive in our climate? What do we see in there?
Sweet potatoes.
Seriously?
Never grow. I've never grown sweet potatoes before either. But yeah, that's all this vininess is sweet potatoes
I should say,
and some weeds.
because clearly I'm not a super gardener. When I was there on Saturday, I thought, this looks like weeds, so I'm glad I didn't touch anything. I just walked very gingerly between them.
Yeah, and apparently they're very the leaves are very pretty. They got like a purplish tint to them. And people could grow, like I was reading about it, and people grow them as a decoration, and
Yeah,
then they
I've
have
seen
sweet
them
potatoes.
in like garden stores, but I guess I didn't really realize that was the same sweet potato that you eat. So
Yeah, might be.
there you go. And you said that some of our little cruciferous ones have the broccoli and cauliflower. Looks like some bugs were having some snacks.
Yeah, those cute little white butterflies that float around all summer are
Oh,
actually quite a nuisance. Get these.
oh,
Actually, it's a cabbage moth, and it lays eggs, and then we end up with these little worms, and then they shred the leaves.
right. Which means that the fruit can't be protected. The broccoli and the cauliflower can't be protected, and they might not grow very well.
Yeah.
Aha.
So I've been out here flipping the leaves over, squishing worms. Because when you
Right.
don't spray anything on stuff, you end up with bugs.
Right. And we've really promised to make this an all organic garden, but that means that you're squishing a lot of bugs with your fingers or
Yeah.
with a stick.
Next year, these don't need pollinators, so you
Mm.
can put like a fabric over it so the sun and water gets through, but it keeps the bugs off.
Ah.
It's one of those learning experience things.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, gardening should be fun and should be learning. I mean, for some people it's a real competition, but I think we are still in the let's have fun and let's learn some stuff.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, people should know where food comes from, other than the grocery store.
Right. And like, I mean, I'll never forget the first time I saw Brussels sprouts growing in a garden, and I
Yeah,
thought, this looks like a prehistoric thing, because
yeah,
you see those little tiny cabbages and you think, how could that grow? And it grows on a giant stalk that's like 4 feet tall.
yeah, yeah. They're really cool.
Yeah. Huh. So
This
that is what used to be some of the other stuff, and that's how
this is a
we learned
mess.
why the weed barrier fabric, which you can sort of see over there, is really important to have if you don't have full-time weeders on hand.
Yeah, this fabric is amazing, and we're
Yep,
going to
that's the
use
stuff.
a whole lot more of it next year.
Excellent. So you put that like around the plants, and then the weeds truly don't grow.
Yeah, no, this stuff is amazing.
And you see that there's some squash left, some over there, or gourds, or whatever we've got.
Yeah, they're gourds. Those were one of the mystery plants. So
Mystery solved.
we got some pretty neat gourds out of it.
Yeah, we do. I'm not
But
a
yeah,
I'm not a big squash lover, so those plants can go to other people who like them much more than I do.
and I think those are more of like a decorative gourd as
Oh
opposed
yeah.
to an edible. Um, but we have a couple melons here that I'll probably pick
Ooh,
before I leave.
those look fun. I will
Yeah,
tell you, when I was over there on Saturday, I saw some of the biggest grasshoppers I ever did see. I thought they were like little tiny dinosaurs. They were huge.
yeah, yeah. There's some pretty big grasshoppers over here.
And if you can sort of see, you want to pan up so we can see some of those sunflowers. They are
Oh yeah,
totally fallen over, but look how cute they are. They are spent, and I was so excited to see what the heads looked like, and I pulled them over, and look at that. Those are truly eaten by all the little birds. So we grew a food for birds while we were also growing shade and having fun and learning about how sunflowers work.
yeah.
I
And
love it.
these got really tall. They're really cool.
Yeah, they're enormous.
Before the Rona hit, we were going to give seedlings for these out at the library.
Yeah.
Like this is like huge.
Yeah, and thank you for like tossing your phone, because you're right. You don't really get that perspective until you see the heads of those sunflowers literally are as big as Mike's head.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 feet across, and my head's
Yeah.
not that big. So yeah, they're huge. It's cool.
So we've got the third round of planting coming in, and we're super excited that we're going to have even more stuff. And you can see there are our beds, and we're going to visit the garden again and see what our garden grows as we progress through this early fall season.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to come out for free basil and cilantro, the one bed has.
Aha.
It doesn't transport well, but if somebody's interested to come out and get it, it's delicious.
Excellent. That sounds perfect. Oh, thank you, Mike, for all the work that you have put in. And we'll see how those little tomatillos progress, if we get some sweet potatoes, and how our little broccoli and cauliflower fare.
Yeah, and I'd just like to give a shout out to Donna and Michelle. This would not be possible without them. They saved me this year because they've been out here more than I have. And yeah, so if people are interested in volunteering next year, send us a message because we're doing good stuff. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like maybe you just want to water. Maybe you're a
Yeah.
super
Yep.
weeder. Maybe you want to come out and plant the next round of beds. There are lots of little things, and you know how it works. A lot of hands doing little projects makes things so much easier. So
Sure
absolutely.
does.
Sounds great. Mike, thank you again, and we will see you.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon.
Sounds great. Have a good night.
Bye, everyone.